Hello and welcome to Lavish Swag Fashion LLC. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a pair of pants, a jumpsuit out of a pair of pants that you have. The tools that you're going to need are as follows. You're going to need your measuring tape. You're going to need your scissors. You're going to need pins. And of course, you're going to need your fabric. Now, what I'm doing is measuring the crouch. That's the first measurement I take, measuring the crouch of your client. And these are going to be high-waisted, so I measured 13 to 14 inches. Then you go on to measure half of the waist. Her waist is 32, so half of that is 8, or 16, then 8. And so you make it wider. So I make these out to be at least 9.5 inches wide. And you always want to make sure you put pins in to make sure that you keep everything in place as you want it to be. Now I'm going to measure my length. Her length was 44, but she wanted them to be longer. So I made the measurement of the pant to be a 47-inch long pair of pants. They gave her a couple extra inches. Yes. Without those are you want to get your hip measurement. It depends on how tight your pants are going to be. You always want to make sure you get your hip measurement. And like I said, your hip measurement is always 8 to 9 inches away from your waist. The center of your hip is always 8 to 9 inches. Now I'm cutting out the top of the pants. And you always cut your front from your side seam to the center. You want to cut it at an angle and make sure that angle is going downward. And now I'm cutting the side of the pants, leaving about 2 inches on the side. 2 inches on each side I'm leaving. Of course, I'm using my favorite cutting tool. I love them. I love them. They work great. As long as I keep them charged up, they will cut anything. And they are safe to use because you can't. I haven't cut myself with them yet because I guess it has a protective edge where your finger, you can't even force your finger in there. So as you can see, I'm cutting the front of the pant. This is the front of the pant because the seat is cut differently for the front and the back. The seam is cut differently. Yes, it is cut different. Now I'm folding them on the outside, folding them outsides out with the right sides facing. And you always want to make sure that you lay them out properly, that all of the wrinkles in the folds are out so that you can get a good cut. Once I'm going ahead and cut those out. Okay. You want to make sure you have enough room to cut out your backside. I'm so excited about this look. This would be my first jumpsuit with a sweetheart top. It's going to be amazing once I get done cutting out the pants. Okay, that is the front. So we're gonna pin those up so that we will know that it is the front. I normally just put two pins in it, or you can cut two slits in the top of the waist to let you know that that is the front of the pant. And here's the back of the pants. Oh, I missed the cut, so I have to go back in, line it back up, and do another cut because I missed cut. I only cut the top layer and I didn't cut the bottom layer. So we're going back in to get that correct. There we go. You see how smooth those scissors are cutting? They're cutting perfect. They're gonna cut exactly what you tell them to cut. You are in charge. Now I'm working. Now we have our top pattern. We have the front, the center, and the back of the pattern laid out, pinned down on our fabric. We're gonna cut these pieces out. On each piece, you can cut right on the bottom, right at the bottom edge of the fabric. But when you get to the tops and the side, you want to cut out an inch away from the pattern piece. And I can never keep up with my scissors. There they go. Never keep up with them. Okay, cut off the extra fabric I don't need. Yeah, let me get a little more comfortable. There we go. Yes, I always cut. You want to cut an inch on every side, but on the bottom. The bottom can be as is. You can cut that right on the pattern line. On the sides, you cut an inch. Making sure that you get every curve, every shape that's within the pattern. Yes, as I continue to cut out those pieces, they are coming out wonderfully. And I am a messy sewer. I'm learning to keep all of my scrap fabrics in a pile because once I cut, I tend to just throw it just like that. And it lands where it lands. And if you can see how I'm cutting right on the edge of that fabric, right on the edge. But once I get to the sides, I cut out an inch wider. For seam allowance, the extra inches are always for your seam allowance. The extra inches are always for your darts. The extra inches can also be for the type of hem that you are doing. Okay? Cutting out the final piece. And guys, it was 1 o'clock while I was doing this. The front piece, I didn't quite cut it right. So I'm going to have to go back in and remake it. Let's see. Yeah. Let's trash that and remake it. Trash. Okay, so I take another extra piece that I have. Thankful to have an extra piece. And I fold it out the way as what I need it. And I laid that pattern piece. That's the center. That is the center front of your pattern. I lay it on the fold of the fabric. And I have it folded double so that I may be able to get two of the center pieces out of this pattern. And I always save your patterns, guys. Like I said, I don't normally use patterns, but I took this from a top of a dress. I took it from a dress, and I've been trying to learn how to make those tops. So, like I said, some things you may have to wind up using a pattern. So I prefer to use an actual garment as the pattern versus going to the store and buying the paper pattern. Because with the garment pattern, I'm able to look at it as it's already formed, and I can take it apart, and I can label the pieces the way I need them, and I can save them. So that's always the plus side with using the garment as itself. Also, you can use also with using but the good thing about using a pattern, when you use a pattern, it includes all of your notches and your dart dots and the different things you may need that'll help you put those pieces together, because with your notches on the pattern, they line up with each other, so you know exactly what to do. So now I have all three pieces. Oh, I had to be a fat man. Getting up like a fat man. So with all of your pieces down, now we will take it to the sewing machine and we will begin to sew. I've already started on my back side. So now, we have all our pattern pieces that we're going to use, and this is the back pocket. No, this is one of the side pockets. And what you will do is you will attach that side pocket to the right side of the pocket will be lined up with the right side of the pants. So each pocket will be attached to the back of the pants. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay. Always remember to drop your presser foot when you're sewing to make sure that you get an accurate sew. It would be very messy if you try to sew it without. And I think I wasn't sewing anything. Okay, so we started over to do it again. I had to rethread my machine. So here we go. We're sewing the pocket on. Yes, there we go. Now we will take it to the other side and do the same with the other pocket. We will open it up, right sides facing the right side of the fabric, on the side seam, and we will make sure we will sew them together. This was sewing that pocket down. Okay. Now we will grab the front of the pants. We will sew the front seam from the waist to the seat all the way down. We will sew it closed. Make sure everything lines up and matches up properly. As you can see, I have a hard time with making sure everything is lined up properly. But once we get it going. Okay, that front seam has been sewn together. You want to make sure that you pull all your loose threads. So now you have them. So now you want to put your back sides to the front, but you're only attaching the zip to the front side right now. Sewing those pockets down, sewing the pockets down on from the back to the front. We're sewing them onto the front side of the pant. So once you do that, then you will fold that pocket closed and you will flip it towards the front side of the inside of the pant, the inside of the front of the pant. I bet you which way it sounds better. And once again, let's drop the needle. Always remember to pull your threads. Okay. Right. So now you're going to fold it. You're going to fold. You're going to fold that pocket. And you're going to fold it to the inside of the front of the pants. Always use your pens if you feel comfortable using your pens. Please use your pens. And also remember, we have a photo shoot coming up. So if you'd like to be notified when that shoot happens, also remember to click the link in the bio below to subscribe for Lavish Swag Fashion. Lavish Swag Fashions, LLC. Yes, now you want to take you to the machine and you want to sew down the side seams. I think we can make that happen. Let's go. There we go. It's sewing down the side seam. Sewing can be very fun and relaxing for me. I love to sew. It is very relaxing. Remember to flip that pocket on the front inside of the pan. Once there you go and you sew it closed at the bottom. And the fabric that I was using, you guys, was a taffeta fabric. Um, Very different fabric to use for this type of jumpsuit, but it's a very clean taffeta. So I wanted to try something a little different with the jumpsuit as far as fabric goes. Yes, we are sewing down the pants as we speak. Once again, you want to make sure those your pocket seams line up. Put a pin in them if you have to. All right, now once you do that, you're gonna take it to your sewing machine. You're gonna sew that bottom of that zipper. You're gonna sew the bottom of that zipper down. Now you are sewing down the side seam of the pant all the way down. The machine that I'm using a heavy duty Singer machine. It's very reliable. It can basically sew through all of your heavy fabrics. I love it. Denim, leather, upholstery. I have tried it on every different fabric that I use, and it works well. Sewing down my side seams. Eating a snack while working. Like I said, it is at this time probably 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm up working, which I love to do. When I'm up by myself, I can work. So now that I have my pants sewn together all the way, you're gonna flip them right sides out. And yes, I used a white thread um, on this because I made it for someone. I may have to read. I may have to. Well, I made it for Shaka, so I may have to take it out. And me using a white stitch will help me to see them better. So as long as it's on the inside and as long as your stitching is very clean, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter what type of stitching you use on the inside. So now we are getting to the top. We are getting to our top pattern pieces. Removing all the pins, removing all of my pattern pieces, putting them up. I'm gonna sew them together, so I'm gonna speed it up so that you all can see the finished product. So sewing this top together was very fun and exciting because, like I said, it's my first time making this top, so I was very looking forward to getting it done. And when cutting out this top, you guys, you always want to make sure you cut out 4 of each piece. You want to make sure you have enough for your front, and you want to make sure you have enough for your back side. I'm going to show you how the front look once it's done. Once I'm going to show you what the shell looks like once it's done. And you guys continue to work with me. I'm learning how to do the making sure that I have the proper angles and the proper lighting and the proper camera settings. So continue to bear with me as I learn this along the way. I'm doing as I'm learning. So thank you all for being patient with me. And I pray that you continue to be patient with me as we continue on this journey. Yes, I'm sewing the final piece to the front, the outer. Y'all help me. I can't get it out. The shell of the top, which is the outer part. Sewing the final piece onto that, so that you all can see what I am doing. So, and this sewing machine, it works super fast. It's very efficient. It works super fast. I can say since I bought this machine, I haven't broken many needles. Okay, as you can kind of get a visual of the top. So now what you do is you will open it up, those seams as I've shown you before. Take it to your pressing board, press those seams open so that everything lays flat. So that when you put it back on the right side, you will not see it buckle. So I'm trying to show you the darts, but it's okay. You can see it right there. I have a hard time with it. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to attach it to the pants. This is what it's going to look like. It's not complete. I did go ahead and attach the inside lining to the top, but this is what it looks like now. I haven't finished the hem of it, but it is almost done. Thank you all for watching, and remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We thank you.